Well, now let's go for the nodes that you need to learn for the connection between Revit and Dynamo. So I've created a folder here so that I can explain it. So I've opened Dynamo, I click on New, and now I start adding the nodes. So in order for you to be able to connect Dynamo to Revit, there should be some nodes so that they can recognize and acknowledge your objects. In the first part, we're going to find out how we can choose all the objects of a category, for example, all the walls, all the windows. For this, you need to use something called all elements of a category. Right click, and here I type all elements, and usually you can see the options. Now if you scroll down, you can find it, all elements of, if you cannot find it, yeah, just put the S, all elements of category. Now I click on it. Now what does this note tell us? It tells us that the thing is, choose all the specific category, all the specific elements of a category, and bear in mind that it is only choosing, right? Now, you see, it's all elements of category, but what category? We need to tell this to we need to add something else. Right click and put in category. Now check this out. Once you write it down, the node that should be shown here is not. So this is not it. Don't make a mistake. That is not that. But it's because it's found in the document and it's not what we want here. So I want you to teach you the tricks so that you do not make mistakes sometimes and you do not go all overwhelmed. So here it's written category, but this is how you need to write it. Category with an I. Why? Because this word is going to be plural, therefore when it's Y, it cannot be recognized. So do not make a mistake. Make the mistake of typing it using a Y. You need to put an I because it's plural, and forget the shape of it as well. This is it. Once you put it, it only asks a category from you. Now, what do you want to choose? You want to choose all the walls. So just put a W. Here I choose walls. You also see subsets of walls. You can choose them. They also have categories, but I want to choose all walls right now. So I'll put it here. If you agree, let's also change it to manual so that we can manage it ourselves. So right now in this project, we've got several walls, right? Now, the thing that I've put here chooses all the walls. Now let me just connect these two together and click on run. Let's see the result. In Revit, nothing happens. I'm just going to maximize it. So if I click on these three dots, I can see the results. Now you can see that Dynamo has recognized these walls. So this is one of the tools that we can use to choose all the objects of a category. But I'm going to mention something real important here. You can use this node here, which actually uses the categories through the list. You can also type it yourself. If you right click here and write down by name. Check this out. What is this? This is category by name. What is the difference? The difference is that the name of that category is typed by you. You might tell yourself, why should I do that when we have the list here? So I can just easily choose it. Why should I go there and just right click one more time and type string, right? Or for example, double click, I can create a code block and again write what? Walls. And I may make a mistake here as well. like a spelling mistake, which messes up everything. Well, you are absolutely right, but sometimes the name of that category is like a lot and it's been extracted from somewhere else. So all we need to do is to give it to that node, and that node will perform much faster. So truth is, you need both of these. Now in the future, I will tell you later on where you need each of them. So as you see, I can use both walls and it's working. I can give it to that, it's working. Let me detach those. And yeah, so in order to have all the elements of a category, we need to use all elements of category, right? And after that, we can use category by name or this. So this is all elements of a category. Now, the next option, again, limits this all element a bit, which is called all elements of category in view. For example, all the walls in it, the second floor. So let's check it out. Right click and just write the end of it, in view, and you see it, all elements of category in view, which is this. Now, what does it say? It says that give me that category. Let me just put that one more time here. So give me that category, but also tell me the view. For example, all the elements in the view, right? So the question is, how can I do that? How can I choose view? So in this part, we had a node that told it this category was what. So here we need to add a node that informs it of the view. How can we do that? So simple. All we need to do is to just put down the word view. Now a point. Once you write down view, you need to scroll down a lot to find it. So again, just write that S, right? Make it plural. These are the little things that you need to know in order to find things when it comes to nodes, right? So I'm gonna just bit by bit, I'm gonna tell you these points so that you can learn them. For example, this node was found using the end part of it, right? In view. So here in the point is you need to put the S, make it like plural so that you can find it easier. Well, now, when it's in view, which means, for example, we want all the walls, ground floor, we want to choose them. There's a picture here, let me just delete it. There's some walls here. Let's check them out. So category, wall, view, ground floor. The interesting thing is that once you add a view node, all the views that you have in your project browser is recognized. Check it out. You see it. For example, here we've got ground floor. If you see there are two, because there we've got two, one ceiling, one floor plan. So you need to be careful of it. Second floor and all in. Now, my choice here is to choose ground floor. Now, once I do that, let's compare them together and run them, right? Now it's 44 walls. Here it's 161 walls. So it's limited and it is a very important mode, right? It's going to be super functional for you. Now that I've set all of these, there's another node which is completely like these all elements, but it's used for families. So what you need to do is type family type, and here you see all elements of family type. What does that mean? It means choose all such families. For example, all beds, all the windows, right? Let's go for an example. For example, what is the name of this door? Single flush, right? Now, in order to be able to use this node, what is the thing? Family type. So I just need to put down family type, right? So all I need to do is this, and then it tells me all families are what. I open this. Now, finding it on this list might be a little difficult, but single flush. 11, 15, 21, 34. That's it. I'll put it here, connect them, and run. How many have we got? 4. Right. So as you see, all the doors with those characteristics were chosen. So these are our choosing nodes, which help us first select those objects and then do whatever we want on them. Let's go with one more together, and then we will go with a review. It's called all elements at level. I'm gonna write it, all elements at level. What does it do? Well, it actually says that I've got nothing to do with categories and doors and windows and walls and anything. I choose everything. I select all the objects, but only limited to a level. Now, what is the difference between a level and a view? Now, when you say level 1, actually everything in level 1 is selected. But when you say, for example, the view of level 1, in that view, something might not be there, or something might be hidden, or anything. But when you say level, everything is selected. Well, obviously, when we are using all elements of category in view, we choose a view. So here, obviously, we must choose a level at this part. So I right click and write levels, right? Once you select it and open it, it says, I only have got 4 levels. But once we added the level, the view, once we added the view, so check it out, it's very important. Now, once you know the difference, you can actually do it consciously, right? So check out the view. For example, you might be like, oh, it's not different now, is it? Between level 1 ground floor, there's no difference between this level and this ground floor. Well, obviously it's different. When a view is chosen as the level, there's a view range. Now, based on that view range, some objects might not be seen, or something is off in VG, right? So those are not selected, but once you say levels, it's got nothing to do with any of it. It just goes and takes a look at the characteristics, and if they're related to level 1, they're selected. So I'm gonna delete this. Also, let me mention that in view, it is chosen based on the category, but here, the node in here has nothing to do with the category. It only cares about what objects are related to that level. So here we have walls, and then we've got windows, for example, floors and anything, right? Everything in level 1 is selected. Let's move on to the final part of this episode, and then I want you to practice. We will come back with the rest of the lesson. Now, in many situations, what happens is we only want to choose this wall, for example, or these 5 walls. So with the nodes we've learned right now, we cannot do this, right? And even if you want to do it, we need to create filters, and it is a burdensome task. And we know exactly what wall, what stair, what, I don't know, window we want to work on. Or for example, I want to work on these specifically 3 stairs. So in these situations, you need to do it manually. Or actually, there is a node in between that helps you choose your objects in Revit and then transport it in Dynamo. So what are these nodes called? What I need to do is write down select model. Now, I need only these 4. I'm going to tell you the differences. Let me just divide it into 2 parts. Select model element, select model element by category. This is only for, these 2 are only for one selection, and the other ones are for when you want to select more than one element. Here we have elements, right? So let's see how they work. I think you can guess what the difference is between select model element and select model element by category. But let's just do it together. The first one, select model element, means I can only choose one object. Now, once you're working with Dynamo, the good thing is that it would be great if you worked with 2 monitors. Now, I'm obviously not able to do that because I'm recording something, so I have to put them together in 2 tabs so that I can show you. But it would be great if you could have your Dynamo in one monitor and your Revit in another monitor. Once you're creating that connection between Revit and Dynamo. So, for example, I want this wall in Revit. The ID of that wall is written for you. And if I click on run, here it is given to me, it is said to me that I've chosen a wall. So I click on select, I click on run, and it tells me that I've selected this stair, and the ID is given to me. As you see in this case, select model element, if I click on select and click on another object, the previous one is deleted and it replaces the new one. So if here is written stairs, it's because I haven't clicked on run yet. So as you see, only one object is selected. What was the next one? Select model elements. What about this? Well, you click on select and you go to Revit, and for example, I click on this wall and I select it. Well, it's not like that, is it? I click on select and, for example, let me hold control and select them. Nah. Unfortunately, it doesn't work like this. The only way it can work is for you to select a box, which is a big weakness. Now, for example, if I want to choose 10 walls, I can't do it by creating a box. Like, everything is selected within the area. So this is the weakness that this node has. Now, this weakness has been compensated for in this way. It actually tells you choose select model elements by category, right? Now, you claim that, for example, I don't want that floor in the middle and the door, for example. I don't want them. I only want the walls. So it says, tell me, using this part, tell me that, for example, I only want walls. And when I open the box, only walls are selected. But because you've chosen the walls before, there is a check here, tick here that you need to click on so that you can complete your selection and you have the IDs here. So let's go over a review one more time. For example, I only want to select the doors. What I need to do is inform Dynamo that be aware that I only want the doors, because I have to create a box, right? But I want you to choose only the doors. Now, when I click on select, the moment I do it, there are like 2 finish and cancels there, 2 ticks and tick and cross. So once I click on it, I see the given objects. So using this option, the weakness I told you about has been compensated for. So the situations where you want to choose all the objects of a area, you need to use select elements by category. But if you want to go with something specific, use this one. But select model element by category, what is that? I don't think it's highly functional, is it? Well, why? Because if once I'm clicking on a specific category, I can just do that. So just remember that if you don't choose the category and then click on select, nothing will happen. It won't work. So you must click on the category and select it first, for example walls, and then once you click on select, you can go there. Now, as you see, like nothing happens once you're holding your mouse on those objects. It only works only on the walls. Now, why am I saying it's not a big deal? It's nothing special. Why? Because if I click on select model element, I do know what I need to click on, right? Maybe I make a mistake. It's not a bad thing, but it's not that good, is it? So these are the nodes through which you can, let's just say, choose an object specifically and exclusively in a manual way. I also need to draw a demonstration for you where these nodes we talked about are. Well, if you go to Revit at this part, selection, a lot of these nodes that I told you about are here. And well, obviously, most of them I haven't talked about, right? We're gonna talk about them on the episodes to come. And remember that you're not about to learn all the nodes in Dynamo at once. In most situations, based on the project you've got and the need you've got, you will learn some new nodes. But the thing is, in this course, we will make every effort to teach you how to use most of the nodes that are common in many projects. And then after that, examples, other projects, and of course some exclusive giving information. So as you saw here, we had 4 nodes for manual selection. Here, 1 node for selecting all the elements, regardless of the category, all the families, all the objects based on one category, and all the objects based on category in a specific view. Actually, in most cases, this is the beginning. You know, choosing the object and then going through a specific process is the beginning. Now, please, I want you to practice. You need to make your peace with the fact that this is not knowledge and this is a skill, right? And if you want to gain this skill, you need to put it into practice. For example, I taught you for 20 minutes, just practice for 5 minutes, right? And it will make you get a better understanding of what's what. So practice, and that's it.